Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. It is your host, Cesar Espino, and today I have a special guest. His name is Alex Thoric. He's the founder of a marketing agency and co-founder of a Building Income on Demand, a marketing consulting company. He's a digital marketer who has great experience working with different industries such as spas, gyms, coaches, consultants, real estate, and restaurants. He's a big sport fan, holder of a second dan black belt in Taekwondo, practicing it for the last 15 years, even had his own school. Hey, Alex, how's it going, brother?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I always love to see what people are able to do and do. And part of it, I think, is part of how they set their mind. And a lot of it has to do with growing up and things like that. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your growing up? Where are you originally from, and how was that for you?
Sure. Originally, I'm from Moldova, which is a small country in Eastern Europe, right between Ukraine and Romania. Was growing up when I was growing up. So my dad was in the army for 20 years. So, jokingly, I say I was growing up in the army in a way.
Yeah.
The discipline was right there, which I'm grateful for. I was always playing sports, practicing sports, swimming, basketball. The main one was Taekwondo, as you mentioned.
Yep.
Been doing it for 15 years now. Uh, but yeah, like overall, I had a great childhood.
Yeah. At which point in your life, did you kind of got into marketing, or how did that come about?
So in terms of the marketing, when we moved to Canada, I went to college. I was going through um, my I was going through a marketing 101 pretty much. And at the same time, I was part of this network marketing company where we were, because I'm sure you know how the network marketing industry works. You can sell services or products as well as grow your team. So I wanted to grow my team, but I didn't want to run after people and show them, do the presentation, show the business opportunity. So I was trying to find a way how people can come to me.
Mm.
So I found out about this funnels, sales funnels, marketing funnels. So I started learning more and more and more about it. Started buying courses about funnels, email marketing, paid ads, social media, pretty much like digital marketing in general, right?
Mhm.
And I was in college at that time. We had marketing 101, and we were mostly covering traditional marketing and didn't really talk much about digital marketing. So I have decided to, at that time, um, looking at what people were doing in the digital space, I decided to quit college. But at the same time, I was practicing Taekwondo like 6 days a week.
Mhm.
I wanted to go to Olympics at some point, but then I had to decide for myself what I want to do, either business or sport, because you literally have to. It's your full-time job. Like
Yeah.
being in sports is your full-time job.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that's how my
you know,
marketing journey started.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And when you talk about that too, thinking about it, it is a full time job. You can also build a career off of that, right? And so, um, you know, it all depends on how I'm assuming how you go about it, right? And so maybe thinking of that, you've been in it for a long time. Why wouldn't you stick to that if you love that so much, and knew that you could probably make a career off of that, and decided to shift gears?
So in terms of Taekwondo is a sport itself. Like the most that I could do out of it is open a school and maybe do a franchise, like some schools are doing it now.
Hmm.
Um, but it wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't. I didn't want to build a business out of it. I
Hmm.
enjoy practicing it. I enjoy doing the sport, going to competitions, and I did have, as you mentioned, a school. But it was like it wasn't a full-on scale school. I was part of university, and we were in charge of the program there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Got you. What is the reason you guys decided to move to Canada? Was it school or
I
was
was
it?
my family. No, it was my parents. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they pretty much brought us to Canada.
Yeah, but and then what I'm saying is I'm from Mexico, right? And
Yeah.
maybe same thing. I came here when I was 10, and I always said I moved here at 10, but really I didn't move here at 10. They dragged me, right, because they wanted to provide a better life for myself and for my family.
Yeah.
Was the same case for you,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Exactly the same reason. Yeah.
got you. Okay, got it. So tell me a little bit about the mindset, because obviously one of the things that you have here is, that I think is important is that having the right mindset is the most important thing in business and in life. Um, Tell me more and dive deeper a little bit on that, because that's how you've been able to build your businesses and obviously carry yourself in life. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. Speaking of the mindset, and what basically happened with me back when we were still in Moldova, I joined this. I was selling products of one of the companies there, and my dad. So I was 17 at the time. My dad told me to read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm
Mm,
sure you know it. I'm sure many
yeah,
of your listeners know it. And that's when a lot of things literally changed in my mind, the way I used to view the world, and it was kind of a before and after transition
yeah.
on how the world really works and what is possible to do with your life, with your career. So with the mindset itself, it's extremely important to that's what I believe in. It's extremely important to uh, still do personal development because that will improve your life in pretty much in all areas of your life.
Hmm.
And whether it's health and fitness, whether it's financial, whether it's something that's related to family, and self-development, self-improvement is what helps you have the right mind and the better mindset as well.
Yeah, 100%. No, I totally agree with you, and I think that's part of it. Yeah,
Yeah, one more thing that I wanted to mention. I'm sure you've heard of the saying, "You're the average of five people that you hang
yeah,
around with."
yeah, yeah,
It's 100% true. And
yeah,
if you spend the time with people that want something better for their life, uh, those people have a different type of mindset. And for you, whether you want it or not, you will become better.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's interesting, and I like that itself. And I always take it a bit further, and you probably agree with the following, and part of it is, you're the average of the five people, right? And I said, well, those that group of people, it's divided into different categories, right? And one of them could be a mentor or someone you're learning from that generally has an interest in you, right? Now that could be someone that you're paying. You're probably paying somebody like you've educated yourself and you've paid a
Yep.
lot of different people to help you get to where you are. So again, that's a mentor, someone that wants to see you succeed. Obviously, you're paying for that service. Sometimes maybe picking up a book or something, right? So there's that mentor component. The other aspect or the other group of people are people that are probably at the same playing field as you, people that are neck and side by side with you, right? And they're trying to get to that next level, right? Whatever that might be. The difference here, though, is um, that they're not competing with you. Instead, they're edifying you, they're helping you, they're working with you side by side to get to that to whatever you want to get to, right? And so
Yeah.
that's what I consider to be like a joint venture. Like in real estate, you do a lot of joint ventures when you have one investor, another investor comes in. Instead of competing, they say, "Hey, why don't we work together so that we can buy this house or get into this investment in real estate and do it together, right?" And the last one, which I think is probably the most important one of all of them, is this is the time where you can actually reach down and lift people up to your level. People that want to become you. They were you before, now they want to come to your level and continue to go that route. And so that's the act of service, the act of
Yeah.
giving back, right? To me, that's the average five. Those three different group of people, right? And you're right. Again, you're essentially hanging around with a different crowd that's going to help you get there in one shape or form, right? And
Yeah,
so
100%.
so that's huge. So tell me a little bit about your the companies you have, and then also building income on demand. What is that about?
So, in case with building income on demand, so based on the last, so as I told you regarding the how I started in marketing,
Hmm.
I started my first agency with my three other friends, and people told us friendship and business is not the same thing, and we were like, no, no, we're gonna figure it out. So we
Yeah.
didn't. I ended up, I decided to start from the beginning, opened another agency. Um, at the end of the day, one of the guys left as well. So my friend Daniel and I, we were staying in contact. He was running his agency, I was running mine, and we were both mostly working with service businesses. And at some point, and we would also send each other clients. Let's say, like, I wouldn't necessarily want to work with certain industries and the ones that he would work with. So we would exchange clients as well or refer.
Hmm.
And at some point, we just sat down and we wanted to see what type of clients get the best results and what is it that they do or we help them with that they get those type of results in their business. And when I say those type of results, we were mostly providing a client acquisition slash lead generation type of services. Like
Yeah.
we've tried it all, websites, social media, but our main one is the lead generation, the client acquisition, which is the paid ads, the email marketing on the back end. And so we found that there are 9 steps that we usually help them with and that they go through in order to have really good results. And we decided to put together a marketing training company and now help business owners, service business owners, implement this system. So we pretty much teach them, we do it with them, we teach them how to do it, and after that they're good to go. So
Got
they
it.
don't need us. If they want to hire somebody after that, they definitely could. But at least they also understand what's important, what metrics to look at, what KPIs to track in their business, in the marketing side, the sales side. So even if they work with another freelancer, another agency, they know what they need to look at.
Got it. So just so I understand. So building income on demand, you're essentially training them on how to look at those matrix, those KPIs. You kind of train them through that whole process.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
building a marketing aspect or a marketing leg, is more teaching them about marketing. Is that correct?
So we build it with them. We show them how to manage it, how to
Got you.
track it. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's a mixture of both, so they can do everything on their own after that.
got it. What
Yeah.
what industries do you do that for?
Mostly it's insurance, financial advisors, real estate. Those are the main ones I would say, because
Got
we
you.
could literally help, let's say this ones, then also gyms, spa, restaurants, so any service-based business, plumbers, HVAC, but also in the world, I'm sure you've heard of the saying, if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one,
Yeah, yeah.
or yeah, to nobody. And we decided to just focus specifically on the insurance and financial space, even though we do still get people from other industries, and we help them with that as well.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. And are you doing this specifically only in Canada, or are you doing this in the US too, or
It's mostly Canada, US.
Canada and US?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
because
For
that's
people in real estate, is that from an agent perspective, or from an investor perspective? Because there's two different things, obviously, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So in this case, it's mostly from agent slash broker perspective. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, that makes
In
sense.
terms of, yeah, because they need those. I mean, investors also need leads
But
in a way.
those are harder to come around for sure.
Yeah,
And I know
yeah,
that
yeah.
because obviously I'm a real estate investor, so even myself, while I'm using some sort of marketing, which is a bit costly, is one of those things that I'm trying to tap into. Like, how can I get better lead flow?
Yeah.
that suits my needs. And as you know,
Yeah.
from an investor perspective, is a bit challenge.
Yeah. I mean, the structure is pretty much the same. It's the messaging that would be different.
Right.
So what we really would like to help with, is build the foundation first, because the foundation, the way we look at the foundation is we like to look at the evergreen business
Yep.
um, fundamentals pretty much. And
Yeah.
then we add up on top of that, of course we add the different platforms like so Facebook and Instagram, plus we use AI, the CRMs, the automations that comes with it. But we like to build the foundations first, and then we start adding up new things to it.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. No, that's awesome. I love what you have here. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit back to the
Sure.
mindset because I believe it's huge, and I love what you have here. This quote that you're gonna leave us with. It says, "A river cuts through a rock, not because of his power, but because of his persistence." And I think that's huge. And I never heard that quote before. And nevertheless, it's huge because you're right. Persistence is all right. And so, uh, explain to me, what that quote means to you, and how can people apply it in their lives.
So for me personally, this quote, I came across this quote, I think like 4 or 5 years ago. I have it on my wall, still have it on my wall. I printed it out. It was actually a quote from Jim Watkins.
Mm,
And the way I look at it, it does matter what life throws at you. If you are persistent enough and you never quit, you'll
yeah,
get to your goal. And when I saw this quote, so I've since we're in Canada, I visited Niagara Falls, I don't know, like 6, 7 times now, I think.
yeah.
Like every time friends come, like we go and show them, like we drive there. And if you're gonna look at I don't know, have you ever been there?
No.
Okay. But when you go there, because uh, you can take the ferry and
Mm,
go closer, or you can look at it from the top. And when you look at from the top, and when you see the water going all the way down, like this moment,
mhm.
you can see the rocks right under the water. They're the surface of the rock. Like of course you can't touch it,
Yeah.
but you can see that it's so smooth.
Mm.
And then let's say one year after another, like we would come and go. And I noticed that like there were certain rocks that would be the surface would trying to find the word. Um,
Like it's diminishing, it's getting smaller, or it's getting smoother.
yeah, it's smoother. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
getting smoother pretty much. Yeah.
yeah.
So with that being said, I mean, if the water can do that, and it just take time.
Yeah, you know what? And that's true. And
Yeah.
the big challenge that many people have, and even myself included, sometimes I look at stuff and it's like, I want it now, right? I want this to take place now. And sometimes, unfortunately, and a part of it too is like you see somebody else, like you might see a friend or somebody else that you might have started working together at the same level, and you kind of see them even further away than you. Like they're much more ahead, and so sometimes like, well, when is it my time, or why is that person ahead of me, or why am I not there now, right? And I think part of that, it goes back to what you just mentioned, and it's huge, and it's a good lesson for people that are listening to this, is that persistence is all, and time is everything, right? And
Yeah.
and your time and my time, well, we probably start at the same level, is different, right? It's not gonna be the same. We all have our own journey to follow.
Yeah,
We all have
100%.
our own path, and unfortunately, some must make different type of choices during that path, and hence why we are in different places. Yet we learn from those choices and those lessons, and so that's huge. I love that quote that you have there for sure.
Yeah, regarding the choices, I can't agree with you more. Like during the last 4 years, I made certain choices that I would not want to. I'm not gonna repeat again,
Yeah,
100%. Because, and when I say my choices, I'm referring to. So I tried a bit of crypto. I tried to launch an e-commerce brand. So we didn't want to have just a store, but we wanted to have like build an entire brand. But all that takes time.
yeah,
And I didn't want to go too far away from the main business, which was the agency providing the services to our clients, because that way, if my focus goes somewhere else, the quality of the service is not going to be there as well.
yeah. Yeah. I think there's two lessons there too, which are huge. Number one, you know, well, you said there was those choices and you wouldn't want to try them again. The biggest thing with all of that is that you were persistent. You didn't give up, right? You know, something
Yeah,
failed. I'm like, it's not working. You try something else. I have a mentor that he refers to it as throwing noodles at the wall to see what's going to stick, right? You imagine all well, you're throwing a bunch of noodles and see, okay, what's it gonna stick, right? And so you were trying, you didn't give up. So that's the first lesson, which I think is huge. The second one, though, is it sounds to me that it came to a point in that period that you decided, you know what, I need to have a moment of clarity and I need to have a moment of focus, right? Clarity and
yeah.
focus. And said, okay, instead of doing all this, throwing all these noodles, and I know that I'm good at this or that, whatever, that focal point came and you decided to stay on top of that, which is huge too. And sometimes we gotta be able to do that. You know, we gotta be able to make sure that we kind of lay back a little bit, have a moment of clarity, and then focus on things that really matter and go after that 100%.
Can't agree more with you on that. And speaking of focus, I literally have this word focus on my phone
Yeah, I love
as
that.
a background. Yeah. So every
Yeah.
single time I open it, I see that. Yeah.
Like stay focused 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
that's good.
there is a book that I read a couple months ago. I don't know if you've heard of it. The One Thing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you read it?
I have not read it yet.
Okay. Well, I
Okay.
strongly suggest it too,
I will definitely do that.
because yeah,
Yeah.
it's an like I read it once, took all the notes, and I reread my notes I think like 3 times by now,
Ah.
because
Yeah.
it's amazing.
No, nice. That's nice, nice, nice. Well, Alex, what can people find out about, what you have going on, building income on demand, anything that you have going on? How can they contact you?
Sure, they can find me on social media at Alex Thoric, Thoric, pretty much on every platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or check out our website, buildingincomeondemand.com. We do have free resources. We actually do have the 9 steps that I mentioned. We're giving it away for people to implement in their business.
Okay.
So it's free of charge. We just want to make sure that people have the proper systems in their business.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay, cool. And then do you have talking about focus, talking about persistence and all that stuff? What are your daily habits? Do you have any daily habits?
I do. So trying first of all waking up at the same time, but the in order to do that, you need to go to bed at the same time, and that's usually the
A
hardest part.
challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the biggest challenge. I like to read at least 30 minutes a day. It's
Okay.
either read my notes from books or read another book. Cool.
Okay.
Um, Definitely work out. So again, either in the morning, do some stretching
Okay.
to prepare for the day. Like those are typical habits that I'm doing. And I do work out. So now, because we were traveling for the last 4 months, and my schedule
A little
is not
off.
at a place. Yeah, yeah, not a place where it used to be. But I'm getting back to it. But usually, I would work out pretty much every single day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And when I
good.
say work out, I'm not going to the gym too crazy. Like one day could be cardio, another day could be weight training.
Yeah, yeah, and it's same with me. I mean, every day I also say I work out, but and at the same time, I don't really do the gym. It's more of I go out for a walk, I go out for a
Yeah,
jog, and doing. At the end of the day, I think people need to do some sort of movement
yeah,
and incorporate that as part of your daily routine. Um, People underestimate how critical that is, and how that can bring some peace and tranquility to your life. Which, as you mentioned, I like to do it in the morning because then I can start my day fresh, right?
yeah.
And then I also like to do it at night or right, when I'm done with work, so that I can, ease into my night and then go to sleep and be good for the following day, right? So yeah, definitely that's huge. Last question I have for you, for the people that are listening to us, if they're going through any challenge, whatever challenge that might be, what is one thing you can say to them so they can start overcoming that challenge?
The biggest thing I would say, take a step back, look at it at a 30,000 feet view, see what could be improved, what you need, what you don't need, get rid of what you don't need, and yeah, keep and focus on that one thing.
I love that. I love it. Awesome. Well, Alex, thank you for being here. Anything else? Any last words you want to say before I let you go?
Honestly, just I would like to say thank you for having me on your
Yeah.
show and for all the people that are listening to the show. Um, if you guys need any help with the marketing side or the systems, feel free to reach out. Would be happy to help you. If one be able to help you, will guide you in the right direction. But I know that people need to have the right direction or the right mentor. And I'm sure you are one of the great
Yeah.
mentors because I did
Thank
go
you.
through your website, did check your work, and I'm sure people should definitely use the resources that you provide as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, thank you again for being here. And for the rest of you guys, do me a favor. Please make sure that you share this message because somebody definitely needs to hear it. And I will see you guys at the next episode of You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. Bye.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you've tuned into this podcast. You can find me at your favorite podcast platform where you can like, subscribe, comment, and share. And to learn more about myself, my services, you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com, or you can also find me at your social media. Thanks for joining me, and I am looking forward to having you at the next episode. And know you truly can overcome anything.